Well, that was enjoyable. Now what? Psionic abilities. Greer's actually fairly accurate. Yeah, no kidding. He has, as I mentioned, when y'all see Ashton Forbes Part 2, his chat did really well. And I'm not even done. I'm sitting over here watching his chat, listening to them go back and forth. And for the guy that he doesn't like in the hat, can follow him perfectly. I know why the little nerd is confused. Bismuth and the Gyros, you should watch your chat. And he knows, he's like, you guys, this is great, etc. Yeah. So let me put this together as far as why so many of you out there don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. When PAIS said terahertz, hold up. Okay, on our channel, we talk about it a lot because you guys are using it in the medical body area networks. You're using it on human bodies. Ashton, they're using it on human bodies. You do realize that we have plasma states in our bodies. Everything organic fries. Welcome to the EBs, engineered biological entities. You call them grays. They call them creations of the DARPA Biological Technologies Office. I really do have the schematics to Die Glocke. That's how I understand your bismuth and the rest of it. My father is known as the man who forgot more about electronics than most people will ever learn. So, the enjoyable part for me was pulling apart MOSA, because as I mentioned, I've talked about Aegis, I think in 2023. They tried to use it against me in family court because my dad made a phone call and had it all wrapped up from my ex-husband who did really bad things. And Aegis and the ABMS system, no, it was the Aegis system. And they said, you're crazy, she's crazy. And the judge is former Air Force, and he looked at him and he's like, it's on Wikipedia. What are you talking about? Did you see how old it is? Okay. So when I talk about how my family comes from missile defense, and I get rather irritated with a lot of you that are disrespectful because you call me names, because that's all you can do. I'm also very careful about not laying it all out for everybody, aren't I? There's a reason for that. I have a sign, my little marker, going over Greer's interviews about the real danger with lying about all this technology because it exists and they're using our human bodies for a bunch of the ways they do things. Call me hyperbolic some more. It's nice. Sabrina, don't you pull out those schematics. No, I think I'm going to pull my great uncle's stenography notebook. That's where a lot of these, the bismuth, gyros, and I asked the question before he mentioned it. And I showed the JPEG before he mentioned it because I could hear the nerd dude going, but superconductors and all these lattice structures and this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you guys ever going to tell him what you got underground? No. You ever going to tell him how you're using those standing waves and controlling all this the way Dutch Sense pointed at and apparently a bunch of other people? No. You're going to tell him how you control the weather, how you're beam steering all that atmospheric particulate to use the plasmonic chest charge jet cloaking that Finding K-Factor and I'd be talking about, the free space optical. No. Okay. You do realize that Russia and Japan have a lot more photonics radar than any of us can get anywhere near because everybody's so busy dancing in circles talking about vaccines. Biocyber interface. Do you know why he says module or interface? I do. There's some synergists out there that probably do too. So I appreciate those of you that have tried real hard to box me in and be like, she's crazy, blah, blah. No, I was a medical test subject. Parking 60 Sikorsky, what do we call those, helicopters with Gestalt. Underground computers. Hi, I'm a human. It's a wireless sensor network. Move. This many. Got a phase array across the road. And when they put up what I call the blueberries and cherries, here where I live, lightning comes up from the ground. Air Force One C-130s disappear. No, they don't. They cloak. I live next to COG, Continuity of Government, Project Greek Island. And my grandma, it was her youngest brother who was the one who left the notes behind. I didn't know what they were. I destroyed the original engineering schematics for Diglucka because I put them across the wall. They came out of a 1933 OSS folder. I've shown it on the channel. It's still sitting on my Facebook. Tell him I'm crazy some more. It's getting real enjoyable. Okay? And for those of you in his chat, again, well done. You're like the Synergist community. You guys are doing great. And I'm really glad that this is an opportunity, I hope, to help those of you out there understand that the things that I talk about on my channel are your anatomy. The human biofield is anatomical, not religious. There ain't no woo-woo with Dr. Persinger's work either. And I'm familiar with Puthoff and the rest of them. So when I tell you that they stole your human anatomy for their sensor systems, you would do well to pay attention, because it is 100% exactly that. If it's good enough for the military and it's good enough for looking it up, and I tried to stay away from certain schematics that are real forced, because he's like, I'm going to talk about the terahertz. But the biggest giveaway for me is the little nerd in the hat going, we can't create electric fields that large, and how would we do that? No, no, no. Well, obviously you never worked at Lawrence Livermore. You were never Asshole of the Month for Hustler magazine. Thermal ripple technology. I haven't gotten there yet in the interview. I just want to throw this here because it's late. I'm burning the midnight oil again because I'm working on different things, and I took a minute because it's kind of sad. And I'm like, let me find something else to look at. And I saw Celestial Spirals put this in the chat, and I thought, oh, good. So the Spook blog and the others that chatted up with their opinions, specifically the Entheos people, they said, be mindful that it's going to look good, look bad, look good, look bad. So we're going to be on the roller coasters some more. Yeah, okay. Here on the channel, again, I didn't load certain things. I've deleted a lot because I don't want to come up with a bad attitude. But I'm rather irritated with the continued ridiculousness of not admitting the anatomical HOW for basics, like the Medical Body Area Network. And I see that Corinne is very busy on the X, and a bunch of other people I don't recognize. They have the same problem with this that we do. You have sensors under our skin. They're not fixed, folks. It's not like you swallowed something. They can just hit you with the signal, and then there's the sensor, pull the biosignal, and off they go. And I said, how do you remove a laser sight? Because you're not swallowing anything to do that. Okay. Well, I'm going to reflect it. Maybe. For what? A few seconds? It depends. What combination of beam steering and phase array are they using on you, with or without an assay? We've had terahertz bullets since the 50s. WARNING. Stop lying about me. Give humans back their anatomy. Because I am more than willing to risk getting picked up by the same West Virginia state troopers. Not a problem. You people out there in the military, drone people, I've heard some of you talking. They don't like the fact that every human, here, at least here in the States, has no damn idea what this is either. Okay? Electronic warfare is 60 years old. These sensor systems, these technologies, for the way that the plasma is controlled. If y'all want to go into that and bark up and down about that, whatever, man. That's not normally my area. It's not my arena. But it can be. And Mr. Forbes speaks my language really easily. He pauses and him and I were laughing and pausing at the same places because of the way you people are really confused. I am not. And on the computer networking side, this is the kind of stuff that when I worked my job, this is the trajectory that I wanted. Secure Operations Center, SOX, NOx, and MOX. I've been thrown through their interdimensional systems before. Disney World was only one of them. And I was involved with something to do with their Eugene wave testing that was real violent. And that's where I have a lot of damage, where they snapped my neck. So when he said anything organic gets blown apart, well, yeah, there can be, they're more than willing to risk it, though, when your little body is just genetic destructive testing. And like Greer said, thought is faster, but you have to actually have psionic abilities, which is what I've called them since I came online. What are we doing showing up with that word now? Psionic, because that's the word that they use. Oh, it's the Stargate project. We had remote viewers, and I told you, any remote viewer that doesn't disclose to you about the D-Tick grids are being tethered to an IBM with their digital twin, 50 years, they're full of shit. They're lying to you. And I'm trying to get to those psionic abilities because I wrote about Caperia and Soteria and all that in 1997. It has to do with suppression, sub-millimeter wave, terahertz kind of suppression, organ growth, albumin production, brain growth, all sorts of things. These sensor systems are not built for just one way of doing business. And then they use computer networking with channel allocation. You think that's the only place we're using channel allocation is in bodies? No. So, I'm going to finish watching his interview and decide whether or not I want to continue to comment. But for now, those of you that continue to make accusations towards myself or our channel, admit the human anatomy that you're using for all your logins. It's time. Trump threw it out there. It's electronic health records. Give cancer, take it away. Not a problem. It's called electricity, cyclotrons, synchrotrons. They've had it since the 30s. You would think that it would be safe enough to talk about now that the human biofield's back on the NIH. But every day is another brute force brick wall of trying to get those that have made tons of money off of keeping this nice and secret. And what are you keeping secret? What are you gatekeeping from people? Their own anatomy and what you're doing to them. Oh, it ain't everybody. Yeah, it is. Biosurveillance and national security. We use radar, just like your chat told you. And then we use computer networking and beam steering and electrical engineering to get the job done. Circuits and systems laboratories are not only for bodies. Like you heard the lady say, the DISN. Provisioning circuits. Maybe some visible light communication. Take it or leave it, pollos. And I don't mean Mr. Forbes. I like him. Hopefully he'll see this, the second one at least, and get a kick out of it. Mark 536, good night, folks.